How you doing? Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're at in the world. I want to pick up where I left off by basically trying to cover some elements of being what I felt a good coach should be. I start off with saying assessment of your young fighter skill level or lack of skill level, realizing that and knowing that you can't train everybody the same way because everybody's an individual. Okay, nobody's a carbon copy and a duplicate. Okay, unless they're twins, and then still twins. There's always one thinks differently than the other. Okay, some are think same, but there's some that think differently. Okay, when coaching, you want to make sure you establish a sound foundation for that fighter, whether he's a small child or an adult. And that foundation, you want to make sure that you don't develop bad habits. Okay, you instill the discipline needed to get that young man or young woman the proper stance, proper foundation, slipping, ducking, body mechanics, bending the knees, things like that, eyes up, chin down, that type of stuff. Okay, you want to correct the mistakes as they happen, and don't be hard and yelling at them. Take your time and talk to them because they're a human being. They deserve respect, especially if you run a gym that's like mine is a paying gym. So I try to take care of my clients because that's how I survive. I'm a former state correction officer who loved boxing. I love all arts really, and I started this in '89 called ICAT Academy in Asbury Park, and then I moved to Ocean, and after the storm, Sandy, which wrecked my 6,000 square foot spot where I used to throw shows and everything, and we were doing great. Had 395 members. Now I'm in Neptune, and we're still doing great. Okay, God has been good. What He has for me, He has for me, and I thank Him. But like I was saying, correct the mistakes. Okay, it's about developing in a fighter, developing good habits, developing quality skill sets. Okay, whether they're inside fighting, outside fighting, their footwork, shuffling, utilizing the center of the ring, perimeter of the ring, or in the corners. So you have to know all facets of the game. Okay, keep everything simple so they can understand what you explain it to them. And if they don't understand it, you have to show them. So which means you have to be able to do what you want them to do. And that's one thing I love about coaching is that God, thank you so much for allowing me to be able to show what I'm explaining. And right now, at this point, I've been sick for the last year and a half, maybe 2 years. Got a bad hip, and I had a leaking kidney, but it didn't stop me from teaching because I have the mindset, and I have other champions that I've trained, Golden Glove champions, Diamond Glove champions, and the respect we have where they come in and help me with the demonstrations. My first time out, because in '89 I had another coach who coached me, Junie Murphy from Asbury Park, Mr. Murphy. He coached me as a kid at 8 years old. I brought him out of retirement and had him coach for me from '89 to like 2004, 2006. Then he retired again, but from '89 to 2004, yeah. And then I started coaching once I got out of corrections in 2010. So 2010, and I had my first Golden Glove that same year. A guy who didn't know anything. We went to the Golden Gloves. He lost by 2 points, but he was 5 times fighter of the night at different shows, and people thought I was cheating because he was so sharp. But that's because hard work, dedication, diligence, and I put time into him like I do everybody. In my gym, I'm watching everything. I'm critiquing everything, and I'm talking to the coaches. If they don't do something I think they need to do, I'm let them know. This guy needs footwork. This guy needs that. Don't just put him on the badge and throw him to the wolves. I don't do it like they did back in the day. Okay, I really don't do. You got to be patient as a coach. You got to understand the fighters because they're human. Okay, and sometimes they have a bad day, and sometimes they have a good day. Sometimes things could be outside situations could infringe on their ability to perform like you think they should. Okay, so it's important that you really know your fighter. Okay, we don't wear out our boxers. You don't want to train them till they're totally exhausted. You want to get them in condition, yes. Okay, but you want to have quality instruction over quantity. Okay, sometimes you might teach them 3 techniques a time until they master that and get it. Also, don't throw people into a fight when they're not ready. I've had a guy come to me I teach at my gym. I have morning class 6 a.m. and I had a guy come to me and tell me he want to fight, and I put the cones out because I do a lot of football drills, and I said, show me your footwork drills, and I put the cones down. From number one, he said he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know what they were doing. He didn't know what the cones were. So I told him, you're not fighting. And I told him he wasn't registered prior to me telling him this, and got his physical and everything, was ready to go, was matched and everything. And I told him, you're not fighting. Now, you're not fighting because I don't want you to fight. You're not fighting because of the safety of you getting hurt. Okay? You don't know enough for me to put you in that ring and, you to go ahead and compete. Because the guy that you're competing with is training longer than an hour a week or 2 hours a week. Okay? Like I try to tell people, you can't play boxing. It's not a team sport. You have to put the work in because they're going to see it. I'm going to see it. And if I see you're not ready, in my gym, Southpaw Gym, Neptune, New Jersey, you want to fight unless you pass my test. When I tell you the condition, when I tell you to come in and I don't see you for a while, you ain't fighting. Okay? You're not fighting for me. Okay? The thing, I understand the weaknesses and the strengths, okay, of that game. Okay? So, I look at it as an art, yes, it's the art of boxing. But you must be proficient in the art. Okay? When I tell you slip, bob, weave, or roll, lean back, shoulder roll, okay? And I tell you to pull, and you can't show me these things, you're not ready to fight. You're not ready. So, and I don't want people to get mad at me because it is what it is. I tell you straight up how it is. I'm always honest about how I feel and what I see. It's one thing about me as far as a coach. I'm not going to sit there and, I want to get, some notoriety. No, I don't care. I teach boxing to people that don't compete because I love the art of boxing. I teach Kali, okay? I teach Silat. I teach arts, okay? Because that's what I do. That's what I love to do. I've been doing it for a long time, okay? I'm an open-minded individual. I keep an open mind. I absorb. I still train. I still read literature on the arts, different arts. I used to go to camp until I got injured in California and get beat up from Friday, Saturday, Sunday to Monday and fly back. Okay? Sometimes I got the bear, sometimes the bear got me. But that's what it is. I listen to my fighters and they got to listen to me. And that's the main thing. A good coach, they have to understand you got to develop that rapport. Okay? And you got to tell that guy, he got to be honest with you. He got to be honest with you because in that ring, the ring don't lie. The ring going to tell you the truth. Okay? If you ain't ready, you're going to gas out in that ring and then you're going to look helpless and look stupid. Okay? And then you're going to be mad at me. Okay? I've got a guy now that last Golden Gloves. I'm not going to say his name. I said to him, this is what you're going to do for conditioning. This, that, and other. Now, I teach so many classes that I couldn't watch him. And I told him about a story about another fighter who did that, and I didn't watch him. But I trusted his word. And my assistant coach cornered him and said he gassed out in the second round. But he told me he was running. I gave him the course to run and everything. Okay? So that relationship between a fighter and a coach is very important, very instrumental. Okay? And I can't stress it more than that. It's got to be there. Okay? I haven't seen that guy in a week, okay? And it's no problem. Because I told him, I talked to him the whole time we was training, and I put routines on the board, showed him how to do the plow jumps, box jumps, ladder movements, showed him how to work inside, outside, showed him things that I knew he needed to compete, okay? And I told him, you have to train 2 to 3 hours every other day if possible. You got to run. You got to do sprints. I laid it out. Everything I did with my first Golden Glove champion in 2011, Isaac Grace, call him Ike Mullah. He's a real estate mogul now, so successful. I'm so happy for him. I love that kid. He's a grown man now. He's got a family, and he says to me, all because of the discipline. I used to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, take him to the gym, run, watch him run. I follow him in the car. You know, I used to do all that. You know, that's the type of trainer I am. If you serious, I'm going to be down with you. But the minute I see that you are not serious, because this is serious, you can get hurt. I'm not dealing with it. Okay, now this is my coaching method. But the things that I mentioned, some of the things a good coach should do. Okay, and you got to care about your fighter. You got to care about the safety. Don't do it because he crying about, I want to do this, I want to. It's not about you. It's a we. When we together know you're ready, then you're ready. But if I don't feel comfortable, no, you're not gonna get hurt. Your parents are not gonna be upset at me because you didn't train when I told you to train. But I just wanted to put that out there. Coach Vic Lashley, Southpaw Gym, Neptune, New Jersey. Okay, and we train champions in and out of the ring. Like I said, in and out of the ring. You have a blessed day. Peace.